Hello YouTube, Ty and Adam from Team GHQ. We're bringing you another profile. Look, Star Dragon World, and look, Buddy Rare Jack. Because Buddy Rare Jack is Buddy Rare. And that secret flag is beautiful. We are going to start quite simply because this is the upgraded Aster build. So, we have 1, 2, and 3 copies of Artillery. This card is so underrated. Not only is it size 0, with half-decent stats, but negate all abilities of originally size 2 or less monsters with soul. So yeah, you can kill pretty much in the mirror match this, and so on. Black Knights just die. Yeah. Next, size 1s. Divisigators. I finally got that third one that I needed. So this is quite simple. The 315. Size 1, Dragon Arms, obviously cross knives, just as Artillery, and shove it in the soul, and your Neo Dragon gains 2000 defense. You'll see why very soon, because this trolls your opponent. Here's a newbie. People don't like this card, and I don't think they're giving it enough credit. Radiant Scudo is... it doesn't deserve secret rare. I'm going to state that now. But negate an attack. Now people are saying, oh, it's just a soul. But we are in a heavy penetrate format now. So not only is it, oh, it's just a soul, it's, oh, I'm not taking any damage from that attack and just negating it. You've got to pay a gauge and kill it from soul if you are not a Jack, but this deck has no issue with that because we can get it for free because we're playing Jack. We have Radiant Alma, that 2-crit. Not only is it a 2-crit Dragon Arms, which is half decent, but it's also the fact that we can gain double attack on 6 or less just by paying a gauge, and we can keep doing that each turn. Again, you'll see why soon, but very solid card. Play it 2, it works quite well. Don't go 4 because you are going to notice you see it far too often, and Jack gets it back. Here's a new one. A giant Dragon Arm, shall we? Because Sonic Blast is solid. 2 gauge core cost, 636 if I remember rightly, yes, and it's quite, yeah, 636, yeah. And it's very solid because obviously you can attack with it, or when we get the new Impact Jack, we can just shove that straight in the soul. Obviously, Cord can use it. New Cord can use it even better, but when you attack, pay a gauge, pop a card on the field. Why not? It's cheap removal. Obviously it's clunky because it is that large, but we can use it because Jack gets things from drop. So we just discard it, or we call it, have it killed, blah blah blah. Loads our drop. Neo Dragons. 2 copies of Star Cemetery, because yeah, same stats as Ricky, no lifelink, so even better in Star Dragon World, obviously. Your size 2 and more Neo Dragons cost 1 less to call from the hand. That is important, because later on when we get the Impact Monster, that costs 2. We've got a 2 cost for Full Burst. So yes, that is a very useful card. I would play it at 3, but I'm not going to because I've got better things to play. Size 0 though, which is always a plus. Next, Secret Pack again, because I like my bling. So, 3 copies. Because V Gradient Quantum Ruler is amazing. That critical is rubbish, but 4k power is clearing walls. Because people are just, for some reason, playing loads of stuff with low defense value. I'm not going to complain at that, because obviously it makes it useful, and its ability is a godsend. When you call it, and you've got a Neo Dragon, it's a Neo Dragon itself. You don't get any ability just by calling it, unless you've got one on the field pre-existing with a soul. But when you call it with a Neo Dragon on the field, which has a soul, you charge 1 from the top of your deck, and you draw a card. This is a draw engine, people. This is such a solid card, because you've got the body and that gauge and that draw. So you more than break even. It's a plus 0.5 if you treat the removing it from the hand and placing it on the field as a minus. Next, you saw this in my last one. You're going to see it here. Size 1, 213, jackknife SD, because it's an SD and it's sweet. And it's also a monster form of, well, I say a monster form of, it is pretty much a monster form of, what's it called? I play it. Sudden Wormhole. It's obviously not counter speed, but you just pay the call cost and call a jack over the top of it. Because, hey, soul. We like soul. And what you'll notice is this doesn't cost a gauge. So you play this. If your opponent uses removal, great. They've wasted some removal. You're still going to call something. And if they don't waste removal on it, you've got yourself a free jackknife. Well done. Next. I'm not even going to bother counting these out because the one on top is much prettier. 4. Star Guardian Jackknives. We know this one, 1 gauge cool cost. It's the 536, same buddy as last time, same buddy as most people use, and arguably you should always use. And when it enters the field, it gains a soul from the drop, because, hey, it's got to be a monster in the drop, so it's either going to be a Dragon Arms or a Neo Dragon. Ideally, you're going to want that Dragon Arms. But yeah, he's a very solid card. You can't play this deck without him. Next, another newbie. And Tutasuku Secret Rare Artworks. Because Fanboy. Jackknife Aster. Now, this card helps you break walls because it's 636, so it stops that 5k and less annoyance that Star Dragon World had previously with just Jack. That 3 crit is very useful. It's 1 gauge cool cost. You don't really mind because it's 1 gauge and you can get it out for free if you have your size 0 on the field. Not only that, but what you've also got to take into consideration is that you can put it on top of a jackknife. So that's SD, that's original Jack, that's full burst, and when it comes out, the impact monster. Its ability, when it's got 3 soul or more, your opponent can't destroy your weapons or kill it with effects, and you don't take effect damage. That's no impacts. They can play all the punishers they want. They can play all the you can't reduce this damage that they want, but you're not taking damage. This card is brilliant. A lot of people are saying, oh, you should run 4, this, that, and the other. This deck, you don't need to. You've got SD, you've got Sudden Wormhole, you've got Gold Ritter, auto search it out. So you can play 3 quite easily because you're effectively playing 5, 6, 7. So yeah. We'll move into size 3 Neo Dragons, which we just have 2 copies. I didn't really explain this guy in the previous profile, but his 726 Penetrate, 2 gauge cool cost, obviously his Jackknife, and he's a lovely, lovely Nationals promo.
And Soul Guard.
Yeah, exactly. Got the Soul Guard, and he's also got the Soul Guard from the drop as Jack did. What you will notice is that his ability is a combination, effectively, of Thunderstorm and Dispersal. That penetrate, and you can counter, pay 1 life, pop something with 4k or less, which is very useful and saved my ass a fair few times, especially against Drago Wizards. Adam.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. We've got our old Gold Ritter, well, I say old Gold Ritter, the Gold Ritter from the last set. We played 2 this time, because we have a much better weapon. But as with last time, we play it because 2 gauge, search your deck for any Jack, add it to your hand. And because it's not a spell, you can't null it. Hence, most of the ideology behind this entire deck. If your opponent's going to use Monster Destruction, your Neo Dragons are going to be fine because they've already wasted it on your Dragon Arms. And vice versa. So, obviously you can play the weapon for 1 gauge, and you can have it increase its critical to 4, because Jack, Soul, yeah, same as last time, nothing new. However, this is new. Weapons. All the weapons. Radiant Saver Providence. The 4-2 is nice numbers. The 1 gauge cool cost. You're thinking, okay, alright, why? And then you read its text. And you notice that it gains additional power for every card in the Soul of the Neo Dragon. And then you realise that it's actually silly good. And then you notice that it gives all jackknives move. And you're like, hey, this card deserves secret print. So why is the secret print less shiny than the double rare print?
Yeah.
And you think, this should be a foil. Like, ridiculously so.
There it is.
Yeah. We have an even better null now. Because this null can stop attacks against monsters. Yay! Solomon Shield clone, so obviously can't guard link attacks. But that's what Divisigator and Scudo's for, and Soul Guard on the whole. But yeah, we needed this. We don't play Proto Barriers, and we don't play Earth Barriers. We could. It's a perfectly viable option still, but this is my personal choice because this is monster heavy, as you've seen. Next, we played this last time, and I have the third now. The same with the Divisigator. I got the third from Mark Simon, who is head admin on the Vanguard Trading Group. He's an absolute legend because I needed this card. But, yes, Speculate Ring, our Drago Energy clone, because, hey, if we have any of our jackknives with 3 Divisigators in, let's just make that 15k wall, because let's troll the opponent with some counterattack. Very simple card, very easy to use, that's all there is to say. Coming to the end, but you'll recognise these from last time, is our Dragonic Grimoire clone, Planet Memory. So obviously, Life Break 5, ditch your hand and draw 3 new cards. You can plus from this so hard. It loads your Dragon Arms into the drop, which, again, Jack fetches. So this is a solid card, and you really should be playing... obviously, you can play Brave Memory when it comes out, which is also a very viable option. Obviously, we played 3 of those because if we have a slow early game, we want advantage. Next, those sudden wormholes I was telling you about. We have 2. We played 3 in the last build, but in this one, not so much. Space, mainly, for the last 2 cards, which some people might agree with, others not so much. But I don't care, this is my build, and it works. But Sudden Wormhole, obviously, pay a gauge, call a Neo Dragon from the drop by paying its call cost, or counter call a size 1 or less from your hand. So yeah, this is either an extra attack or so on, but mainly you're using it just to get your jacks back, because plus plus plus. The last cards we have, 2 copies. Fate Information.
And 1 in foil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want the rest of this deck in foil, people. But Fate Information is quite simple. You pay a gauge, pick up the top 3 cards, choose a monster or an item, so obviously the majority of the deck, and you toss 2 of them into the drop zone and add 1 to your hand. Again, deck thinning. As well as deck thinning, you are also going, if not plus, then digging 1 deeper into the deck. Well, technically 3, but you're searching something you want. And there's only a 28% chance of this totally failing, because we only play 14 spells. And that is the profile. What I will note is when the Impact comes out, you definitely want to play Jackknife Dragon Wall, because that thing is very silly with your size 0. I will do an update profile with that. As I said, you can play the Proto Barriers. There are other builds which I'm not going to do, because, quite frankly, I can't be bothered, and I like this Aster build because it goes silly. It's one of these things where you think outside the box with this. So Star Dragon World, should I say, I strongly feel it should be played as heavily monsters. Test it out for yourself. If you don't like it, fair enough, but mathematically, this works. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Find our Facebook page, ask any questions on there if you like. Subscribe to the channel, and go to Geeks Headquarters official page, like that, and come and visit us. Happy gaming.